Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful morning it is. It's time for morning manna, and I have a word for you this morning, operating in obedience. Operating in obedience. You want to know how you're going to get your reward? You want to know how you're going to be blessed? You want to know how you're going to get to where God is trying to take you? Operate in obedience. Well, it's the text, the talk, and the takeaway. And the text this morning is Joshua 24 and 24. Joshua 24 and 24. It says, "We will serve God and we will obey." We will serve God and we will obey. I don't know about you. They said right there in that last chapter, Joshua is saying, "Look, I proclaim, but for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. And on top of that, we're going to obey." Did you realize that everything in creation obeys God readily, freely, without pushback, but humanity? The winds and the waves obey him. The leaves obey him as they flicker with the wind blowing through the trees. Everything in creation readily obeys God with no pushback. But the crown of his creation struggles with obeying him. But yet we want something from him. So let me give you three things. Remember, it's the text to talk, the takeaway. And the text this morning is Joshua 24:24 says, "We will serve him and we will obey him." We're going to serve him and obey him. Four things, because we're going to break the word obey down into an acronym. Start with the O, end with a Y, and then the takeaway. The O in obedience or obey means open mind. Open mind. If you want to know how to obey God, have an open mind. And in Philippians 2:5, it says, "Have this mind that was also in Christ Jesus." What was that mind? In Philippians 2:8, he says he was obedient all the way to the cross and the death of the cross. He died on the cross out of obedience, out of obedience. So you have to have an open mind to be ready to obey God. You don't know exactly what he's going to tell you to do all the time. That's why the B in obey is very important. The B stands for bravery. You have to be brave to follow God. You got to be brave because there'll be times when the Lord is going to ask you some things to do some things that's not always going to add up. Come here, Peter, walk on the water. Got to be brave. You got to be brave. Come here and wait on me. Psalms 27 and 14. Wait, I say, on the Lord. And again, I say, wait. There are times when your knees are shaking and the sweat on your brow is coming from the nervousness that, God, are you going to come through? And as a result of that, you got to be brave to stand firm. Got to be brave. Got to have an open mind. You got to be brave. Here's the E. The E stands for an expectation. Got to be expecting God to do something. Have you ever seen anybody that is so adherent and so wanting to comply with whatever the rules are, whatever the situation is, and then don't get a reward? There is something about it. That's what we do with our little dog Zoe. Zoe is a little fella, and she's the cutest little Shih Tzu there is, and as smart as she can be, and she's very obedient. Guess what she gets every time she obeys? A treat. Now, now, if Zoe gets something for being obedient, what is God going to do for you and I when we are obedient? So you can expect God to reward your obedience. In Genesis 15 and 1, he says this. He says, Abraham, I'm going to do an exceeding great reward for you. He's going to reward you out of your obedience. So you have an open mind, you have an expectant spirit to receive from him, and you got to be brave. The B for obey is brave. You got to be brave to carry out what he wants you to do. So it leaves us with the why. You have to yield. I'm reminded of that song that my mother used to sing. It said that it was her favorite hymn. Yield not to temptation, for yielding is sin. For yielding is sin. Every time you overcome it, then you will be able to win. Every time you don't yield, the next time you'll have more strength so that you can win. My mother loved that hymn. She would sing it, and it just rings in my spirit. Yield not to temptation. If you decide, hey, I'm not going to yield no matter what, I'm not going to give in to what I want to do no matter what, I'm going to mortify the deeds of the flesh, I would have obeyed the word. And when I have an open mind, when I'm brave, when I expect, and when I don't yield, guess what? The takeaway is this: obedience is better than sacrifice, you already know. Obedience is better than sacrifice, and Jesus is coming, and he has his reward with him when he comes. No, don't. He's not going to come and check it out. He's not going to come and grade. He's not going to come and say, "Oh, are you ready?" He's not going to come and say, "You know what? Depending on what you're doing right now." No, he says, "I have my reward with me when I come because I've been paying attention to whether or not you've been obeying." The Lord be with you today. May his face shine upon you and give you peace. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. I'll see you Monday morning with more morning manna. Got a word for you this Sunday in our new life, our virtual new life at 9:30 Sunday Central Standard Time. God bless you. I'll see you Sunday and Monday. Bye now. Share the manna.